Hello friends, it's Pam here. So I came outside a couple of hours ago, more than a couple of hours ago, because there was a video I was thinking of, a thought that I wanted to capture. But then I started weeding for a long time and I got really sweaty. It's really hot and humid here. So yeah, I might look a little flat, but that's okay. It's not about me. It's the last day of July, and I find the last day of July interesting. First of all, because it's the 31st, and do you remember that little ditty we had to memorize about the months and how many days there were? So that's such a helpful thing. 30 days has September, April, May, November. If you remember it, you can put it down in the comments. But anyway, the last day of July is when I was teaching. It was like, okay, July I would give myself. That was like, just whatever happens, just do stuff outside, go to a lake if you can, hang out with the kids, and don't do any work. Just don't think about it. Just give yourself a month. And I think a lot of teachers do that. But then when August approaches, August is kind of like the beginning of the next year. So when August hits, it's about, okay, got to check into the job. I got to start preparing things, kind of gear up. And so I still have that instinct that I have to gear up now. And there are a lot of things happening coming up. So anyway, I'm just holding on to this beautiful, very hot. I think it's going to be 32, which in this part of Canada, is pretty hot. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit. Anyway, so I came out here and I was weeding my little garden, little flowers. And in July, everything starts to look a little used up, kind of needs a trim, kind of needs an evaluation. And so I have been doing that, just cutting things back and pulling out some weeds, pulling out some really aggressive, like noxious weeds, those ones that take over. So the one I have here is called creeping bellflower. And man, I have pulled out so much creeping bellflower and dug it out. Anyway, and then yesterday, this is full of apple tree boughs because I pruned the apple tree because I couldn't mow under it. And I really didn't want the branches to break. The deer have really ravaged that tree. Anyway, I gotta stop babbling about this. I'm just gonna wander back here to the backyard. I noticed when I was watching back some of my videos that I'm actually kind of boring. So, I was putting myself to sleep. So I apologize. And I apologize to former students too, for having to listen to me. I'm going to step into the bright sun here, so prepare yourself. So I have to get a little bit more to the point, a little bit more succinct, and more interesting if I'm going to keep doing this, but that's okay. It is what it is. And it's all right if I'm not the best. Anyway, so what was I thinking about? Well, I'm wandering back here, and I'll turn it around here, and hopefully I remember to show it properly. So I need to mow. That's on the schedule, the plan for right after I'm done talking with you fine people. So my little flower bed that I created from scratch here is doing okay, but the deer did chew off some things, and some of the stuff I got from a friend's garden aren't really taken off. They're kind of dying, but that's okay. The potatoes, got three different kinds in here. They are looking pretty good for how late I got them in, so I'm looking forward to those. And then over here I have these 4x4 12-foot posts, one on the other side there. You can see that I'm going to drill holes into and put some rebar in and use them to kind of define these edges. And then I have rocks that I've been getting from various sources, and yeah, you can see I got to finish off this edge. So it's coming together. Things are taking shape. I'm learning a lot. But let me spin you around here. Sorry for the dizziness. What I wanted to talk about is sometimes we don't give ideas or passions or relationships or people, or maybe even ourselves, enough time to really develop into what it's supposed to be. We want everything, or I want everything to, I'm just gonna walk over here in the shade. I want everything to just be fine. I want it to be good. I want it to look good right away. And it takes time. And sometimes relationships or friendships, when you might feel a little bit like you're not sure where they're going, or maybe you have a relationship with someone, you're in a romantic relationship with someone, and you haven't really given it the time because you're afraid, or because you sensitive to rejection, things like that. Or maybe there's someone that that you just kind of given up on, and you think they're never going to make it, never going to figure things out. And some of us just need a little more time. We come into bloom when we are ready, right? And so I just want to encourage you to not give up. And the reason that I started thinking about that is because of this little weed patch right here. So it looks like a disaster. And my thought was, I'm going to replant, I'm going to resow the beautiful poppies that I had last year. Because last year I had just a gorgeous swath of poppies and wildflowers, and it was so beautiful, bright pinks and yellows and whites, purples. And I was always out here taking pictures and just looking at it, drinking it in. But I knew that the weeds had gotten a head start. And maybe the weeds have gotten a head start in your person, or your relationship, friendship, passion, whatever it is that you've kind of given up on, and you just want to mow it over and start again. I knew that the quackgrass and the weeds, as you just saw, were really well established and were going to come up, and come up they did with a vengeance. And I pulled out some, and I kind of waited, and all of a sudden I noticed, just when I'd kind of thought, all right, I'm just going to mow over this. I'm going to dig this up. This is an eyesore. This is an embarrassment. I noticed that the poppies were coming up. I noticed a few little wildflowers starting to bloom. And I thought, no, I'm just going to give it a little more time. It's coming into its own. It's going to be beautiful. And as I can see more, what's a weed and what's a flower, I'm going to start, weeding it a little bit, making it look a little bit better. But anyway, I was just thinking about that, and thought I'd have a little walk and talk with you to see if there was, any way I could encourage myself, that sometimes you don't need to give up quite so soon. And the situation will not be horrible forever. The person that we're waiting on to grow and mature, or the relationship that we've kind of given up on, maybe it just needs a little bit more time, a little bit more patience. Anyway, that's a thought for today. Thanks for hanging out. I hope you're having a great day. I hope you're not too hot. And oh, here's my kitty if you want to say hi. There she is. Hello. Anyway, it's been a little bit of a spin. I hope you're not dizzy. I got to learn how to do this better. So thanks for putting up with me and my sometimes maybe boring or meandering videos. But just sometimes want to share things with people, and especially friends that I don't get to see anymore. So you know who you are. Have an awesome day. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.